Yeah.
So let's circle back to marketing now, since the audience knows you now better. Let's discuss more about the gray areas of marketing where you draw the line. Let's take an example of recently. I think there was this campaign run by Shaban regarding Poonam Pandey. I think she faked her death. So where do we draw a line? कि ये करना चाहिए, ये नहीं करना चाहिए. What do you think?
I think that, like he was saying, that when you are early in your journey, you feel like सब कुछ कर लेना चाहिए. You don't care much about the ethical issues, but you only care about the check you're getting in your pocket. And sometimes you think कि controversy बनाने के लिए या कुछ viral करने के लिए कुछ भी हद तक पार कर लो, सही रहेगा. You know, I was just talking to Miss Malini 2 days back, and she told me she posted Rajnikant ka no makeup look photo when she was yeah, that's the expression that I also had because they spotted him somewhere and the fans were agitated as hell. They were like, how can you put this picture, don't you have any sense, he's our hero figure, this that. And then she had to actually apologize to the public and also to Rajnikant, saying that sorry, we're taking it down. But I asked her, what if you get this picture now in your career, will you still do it? Her answer was no. So I think with time you evolve and you realize where the boundaries are. And she also told me that, you know, every pap is today covering the funeral ceremonies of the celebrities or their families who are passing away. But she has drawn a line to with her team, saying that you are not covering any of that on our channel because it's not something right to talk about. It's something which is very personal and it's in their space and it's not something we should cover publicly. So I think ये सब time के through ही पता चलता है and you learn from your own mistakes. It's better to learn from others' mistakes, of course. Like next Poonam Pandey type कुछ आ गया तो I think आदमी को re-evaluate करना चाहिए उसका career. But but yeah, you should learn from other people's mistake. And also I think it's okay to make mistakes sometimes, so long as you're only making it once. अगर एक वो twice or thrice हो रहा है, then there is a serious problem and people need to really not work with such people, because I think today the consumers and the audience who are wanting that, उसी के कारण brands और ये सब, you know, people ये करना चाहते हैं कि okay, इसकी audience है तो we'll do it. So as a consumer also, we also have a responsibility that we shouldn't demand all such kind of content and, you know, jump over it or get excited कि अरे वाह ये क्या दिखने मिल गया.
Yeah, I know, right? Like people associate brands with celebrities. Like Akshay Kumar is selling tiles or some construction equipment, and he's the face of it. Like, how relevant is that? He's not probably even using it.
Kajaria.
Yeah, something tiles or
Yeah,
something.
I see that on the airport every time.
I mean, you saw James Bond, Pierce Brosnan doing a surrogate ad for a
Yeah.
tobacco company. So
But even if you also look at this, celebrities also have to have a certain decision making before they endorse certain brands. Like for example, the same backlash that Akshay Kumar faced for endorsing a tobacco or a pan masala brand, right? Because his aura and persona is a health freak, right? Who wakes up early in the morning, who is on time, who eats healthy, right? And someone like him promoting a pan masala brand or a tobacco brand, it kind of isn't divide with his persona. And he did face a huge backlash, and he also had to put a post, apologizing to his fans that he's no longer going to be associated with this, ad. And right, he listened to the fans. So there's obviously from both the sides, right? So these fans are obviously passionate about these things, and they ensure that their voice is heard. And to add to what even Radhika said, is that with the entire Poonam Pandey piece, right? For me, the biggest problem which I saw in that was that the national news channels covered it without checking it, right? So if I'm not able to trust a news that I see on some of the biggest news channels today, right, it was covered everywhere, right? Again, without taking names, but all the most renowned news houses in the country, they took that story. And if we can't trust that news, then it just makes us question, if I'm reading tomorrow something else that they've printed, how can I ensure that it is the reality? So I think that was my biggest takeaway from this entire controversy.
Correct. But I think their mindset was कि उनका purpose solve हो गया. They wanted to spread awareness about cancer. I
Right.
think specific cervic cancer was it?
Cervical,
Cervical
yeah.
cancer.
Cervical cancer. So they went to an extreme, right, to promote.
Yeah, that's right. So that the saying that there's no such thing as bad publicity
Right.
is not entirely true. It's not entirely true because the moment you start playing with the emotions and you start sensitive things which the audience feels. I think then that disconnects you from the audience and it breaks that trust. So audience may not now believe Poonam Pandey's posts in the future, and specifically the news channels also. So and this is also, you've seen a rise in these fact checking companies and fact checking news
Yeah.
segments where they're just fact checking what is circulating over WhatsApp or circulating over Instagram. So yeah, like the trust level that you have been building for so many years does get affected.
This is the kind of suicide bombing marketing where काम तो हो जाता है पर आपका भी नाम खत्म हो जाता है. So
that's
this
true.
is the kind of marketing which is very prevalent in today's time, and people are okay doing that. But again, like you said, there needs to be a boundary which you only need to set for yourself. Your consumers won't, and ultimately once you release the ad, you'll realize later on कि भाई कहाँ तक boundary set करनी थी और कहाँ तक extend हो सकती
Plus
है.
what happens is like Harnish said, हमारा attention span इतना कम हो गया है,
हाँ.
2 दिन में लोग भूल
Yeah,
जाएंगे.
our memory is
हाँ.
really small. I mean, today you will see it like after 10 days, right? You are not going to remember it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these marketing, players also harp on, right? Because they know कि अभी कुछ कर लेते हैं, let's be in the news, right? Because Poonam Pandey
Yeah.
got her moment in the limelight, right? She was on all the news channels, right? She was on people's stories. She was being talked about, right? And her followers obviously saw a great increase, during
Yeah.
that time, right? So that purpose was solved for her. So again, there's definitely a line that we need to draw,
Yeah.
between what's ethical and what's not ethical. But at the end of the day, for individuals, it is what sails the boat for them.
Yeah, I think it's about, think about it as you selling something to your family. Would you lie to them while selling it or no? If if the answer is yes, then I think you as a person are very different. And then if you do it in your business, it's fine. I mean, you are that as a person. And if the answer is like ये मैं मेरी family को ऐसे नहीं बेच सकता, तो आप आपके consumers को भी मत बेचो फिर ऐसे. If you think about that and then market it, then it all makes sense.
But Advertising Council of India has actually also made rules and regulations with respect to influencers, right? Where they've made it very clear that any product that you've been paid for, that needs to be a promoted or a ad
Collab,
or
yeah.
something, mentioned. But
हाँ.
today we all scroll Instagram. How many posts that we see जहाँ पे clearly mention हुआ होता है कि it's a paid partnership or a collab or something, right? Very few. It's still a very small percentage. So it becomes very difficult for us as a consumer, right? As a marketer, ठीक है, I'm trying to sell my product organically, right? But as a consumer, I can't trust anything that I see online. Okay, is this influencer paid for this product?
Yeah.
Is he or she actually using the product? We can't really ever know until we see that branded tag. Now the paid tag, but we can make regulations, but वो कितना enforce हो रहा है, वो कैसे control कर सकती है, I'm not sure, but it's not happening now for sure.
Yeah, it boils down to individual values. A lot
Yeah.
of people tell me when they do branded post on LinkedIn that ये आप brand collab ad वो सब 24 घंटे के बाद डालो. I'm like क्यों? तब तक तो सब लोग देख लेंगे, फिर डाल के क्या फायदा है? अभी डालूंगी मैं, नहीं करना है तो मत करो. Then they're like ओके ठीक है चलेगा. So I think अगर मैं agree कर लेती तो उनका काम हो जाता, पर वो ethical नहीं होता.
Yes.
But I think we need to have more people who stand to their ground and not get carried away by money कि ठीक है इतना पैसा आ रहा है तो जो बोले कर लो. So I तो strictly tell them कि if it's an ad, I'm going to put it. And अभी तो मतलब legally भी council ने issue कर दिया है.
Yes.
So I'm like किस basis पे तुम मेरे को मना करोगे भाई? तो you have to really take a strong footing and go for it.